Hello, everyone. Welcome to the News Browse News broadcast. Vancouver Community College, VCC, has announced the suspension of new student intake for its Bachelor of Science in Nursing program for 1 year, meaning no new admissions will occur until 2027. This decision, according to VCC, is financially driven, prompted by a reduction in international student enrollment and the associated costs of running the program. City News Everywhere reports that Adrian Gear, president of the BC Nurses Union, strongly criticized the move. Labeling it very short-sighted, Gear highlighted the severe nursing shortage in the province, noting 4,500 permanent vacancies and a projected need for 33,000 new nurses by 2035 to meet demand and uphold a newly established minimum nurse-to-patient ratio. While the first-year intake is halted, VCC confirmed that the program will continue for students in years 2 and 3. Furthermore, VCC has introduced a spring 2026 intake for its advanced entry nursing program, allowing licensed practical nurses to transition to registered nurses, framing this as a strategic adjustment to admissions. CTV News reports that British Columbia's Citizen Services Minister is defending new legislation, Bill 9, which aims to weaken the province's freedom of information, 8A provisions. The government faces mounting criticism from various groups, including opposition parties and the Canadian Taxpayers Federation, CTF, which delivered a petition with 10,000 signatures opposing the bill. Critics argue that Bill 9 erodes the public's right to know what public bodies are doing, allowing them to block, delay, and deny requests more easily. Rob Botterill, a BC Green Party MLA who helped draft the original FOI legislation decades ago, called for the legislation to be withdrawn. Minister Diana Gibson insists the changes are intended to improve the system and respond to public demands for faster service, citing the high volume of requests. She stated that the changes do not affect the oversight of the Privacy Commissioner, despite acknowledging that the Office of the Information and Privacy Commissioner, OIPC, lacks enforcement power against non-compliant public agencies. Gibson also promised proactive disclosure to reduce the need for formal requests, but critics remain concerned about transparency and accountability. Global News reports that the city of Calgary is set to receive its third installment of the Federal Housing Accelerator Fund, ATENS-F, totaling $64.7 million. This comes despite the City Council's controversial decision to repeal citywide rezoning, a move that had previously placed the funding at risk. Mayor Jeremy Farkas stated on Wednesday that this reaffirms Calgary's effective housing strategy, positioning the city as a leader in building diverse housing types. While Calgary was initially awarded 205 Dixnall, $240.20 Nallen from the fund, with $122.9 million already distributed, the remaining $129 million faced uncertainty. The repeal means 306,774 residential properties will revert to their original low-density zoning. However, the fourth and final half installment, due in April 2027, is now contingent on new conditions. Calgary must adopt a zoning replacement allowing a minimum of 4 units on a significant majority of residential lots to be in effect or substantially developed by October 27, 2026. Federal Housing Minister Gregor Robertson noted this aligns with Mayor Farkas's commitment to a more nuanced land use policy. While housing advocates emphasize the mayor's unfulfilled campaign promise for a replacement plan, Farkas is exploring approaches, including leveraging new neighborhood zoning, and even considers forgoing the final $60 million if a suitable plan isn't achieved. City officials highlight that since 2023, 61,000 units have been built in Calgary, with half supporting 13,000 market and 1,500 non-market units, emphasizing the critical role of these funds. City News Everywhere reports that the federal and provincial governments have partnered to provide a $4.6 million one-time grant aimed at supporting gender-diverse people, women, and children who are escaping violence in British Columbia. This funding is part of a broader Canada-British Columbia bilateral agreement established in December 2023 to combat gender-based violence. Christine Boyle, BC Minister of Housing and Municipal Affairs, emphasized that home is more than four walls and a roof, highlighting the importance of safety and healing. The majority of the funds, $4.3 million, have already been distributed through BC Housing's Women's Transition Housing and Supports Program to nearly 90 nonprofit organizations and the Aboriginal Housing Management Association. Withal, this support helps maintain operational capacity, aids survivors during critical incidents, and fosters their independence. Funds will also cover small bursaries for financial independence, new supplies like furniture and playground equipment, accessibility upgrades, and staff training on gender-based awareness. An additional $300,000 GAN grant goes to supporting survivors of abuse and brain injury through research, SOAR, for a comprehensive training program launching in summer 2026, with a special focus on Indigenous women and the link between gender-based violence and brain injuries. Global News reports that the Ontario government has introduced the Protecting Ontario's Food Independence Act, legislation aimed at restricting foreign ownership of farmland within the province. Agriculture, Food and Agribusiness Minister Trevor Jones tabled the bill on Wednesday, April 22, 2026, describing it as forward-looking legislation to avert risks, avert potential for concern. While not currently a major issue, the government seeks to preempt potential problems associated with foreign entities acquiring agricultural land. Concerns include the possibility of land being left fallow or solely used to produce a single crop for immediate export, which could diminish the long-term food production capabilities and economic benefits for Ontario's communities. Minister Jones noted that similar restrictions are already in place in other Canadian provinces and parts of the United States. The proposed legislation also incorporates various adjustments related to the sale and farming practices for commodities such as beef and dairy. That's all for this video. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.